Etapu, Assalamu alaikum, Namaste, Harun Nefer. This is Qesankh Keperu with another exciting video for you. And in this video, we're going to be talking about should you get it? Well, what is it? But we'll be talking about that. Before I go on, I want you to hit the like button on this video. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Hit the subscribe button to get notifications on when I go live and when I upload recorded videos. If you want to know more about my spiritual teachings, my awesome teachings, you can scroll down below, click on one of the links, and download a free ebook today and start reading. You can download 2 or 3 ebooks if you'd like, if you have that much time to read. Give you a nice deep dive into my spiritual philosophy. However, if you want to follow that rabbit down the rabbit hole, you can become a Patreon supporter for as little as $1, $5, or $20 per month. You'll get exclusive videos on the esoteric, on the spiritual, videos that will teach you how to contact the ancestors, how to summon spirits for your protection, how to do a money ritual, how to do self-hypnosis to curb your overeating or get rid of negative habits. And if you are a Patreon supporter, you'll get all your oracle readings for free. So become a Patreon supporter today. You can cancel at any time. There is no obligation. Last but not least, share this video with family and friends so we can get the revolution started. So, Harun Nefer, may Buddha bless you. Let's talk about should you get it? I get a lot of emails. I try as best as possible is to respond to everyone, but it's not that easy. Sometimes people have a quick question. Other times people seem to write a novel, you know. So I want to thank you for, reaching out and communicating with me. And if I haven't responded back to your email, rest assured I will. I just have to get through a lot of stuff. But, one of the most recent things that people have been asking about is, should they get the vax? Now, I don't talk too much about that because YouTube does, can penalize content creators for expressing what they feel is beyond their knowledge base or above their pay grade. So I don't want to go too much into that, but rather I want to talk about, I want to answer your question. That's what I want to do. I want to answer your question because, previously people were emailing me and asking me what I thought, should they get it? What's the deal? And I would kind of like, I don't want to talk about that, because, it's YouTube's form and we have to abide by their rules and this and that. But here, I'm going to give you an answer. All right, I'm going to give you a conclusive answer. But to give you the answer, I need you to understand some things first. One is that you're a magician. You're a magi, okay? And you're also a reality generating machine. So what do I mean when I say that? You probably heard me say that. What that means is that you are going to create a reality whether you like it or not. Do you understand? And I often talk about how Western society is very left brain polarized. It's very linear, time, space, while the right brain is very holistic and it's nonlinear. Now, the importance to understanding is that you have to understand that life is about duality. And the left brain can't accept 2 opposing ideas. It always looks at them as contradictory. But where we at people who have a heritage and legacy from ancient Kemet or Egypt understand, and I want you to understand something too. If you're watching this broadcast, you most likely have been reincarnated into this time-space continuum from ancient Egypt. You understand? So if you're thinking that, hey, I could be from different parts in Africa, that's true. But more than likely, it's Kemet because you're listening and talking to me. And we have formed this collective union based on our past life experiences. But I digress. I want you to understand that life is about duality. And I look at this in terms of, and I'll see if I can find this. The goddess, if it's online, Ma'at. And there if you read, there's also Ma'ati. Okay. Now, what is Ma'ati? It is also known as the two truths. All right. Now, many people um, get this mixed up. They don't really understand what that means. And I could get into a whole deal on that, but I don't want to get too much into it. But I want you to understand that when we look at Ma'ati, we're talking about the two truths. And you'll sometimes see it represented, Ma'ati represented by either two images of Ma'at, both wearing the feathers. So I look at it as the objective interacting with the subjective. So let me explain that. You live in the objective realm. And the way we understand that is that you live in a world of objects, the objective realm. Prior to coming to the objective realm, there was only one. There was God. There was you in a subjective realm. So there was nothing for you to interact with. You were alone. And then the one became two, and the two became three in the Holy Trinity. So keep that in mind, the objective interacting with the subjective. All right. Now, you also are multidimensional, meaning you exist in all places at all places simultaneously. As I sit here, I exist in all the dimensions. They say there's 12 dimensions and many more than that, but I exist in all of these dimensions, having various different parallel life experiences because my focus is only on this life, this fourth dimensional experience. I'm not aware of what's going on in those other parallel dimensions. But rest assured, they exist. Now, if you get into taking ayahuasca or DMT or something of that nature, you can then go and experience your other lives. I have not taken those, but I've gone deep into meditation to where I've gone into the other dimensions and I've actually experienced my other selves, And there are also things like your other self can reach out to you to communicate with you. If your other self is aware of these multidimensions, which you in this dimension understand that there is, so you have the opportunity to reach out to your other self who may be rich and say, how did you get rich? Tell me your business secrets. If you may be a Don Juan in your other life, and you may reach out and say, what are your secrets? How did you become so smooth? And you can open that communication, that dialogue, and then you can integrate traits from that other aspect of you. Now, it's very complicated. I can't go into exactly how the parallel dimensions work, but it's not like there are different Earths. People think, like that movie, that TV show Sliders that came on years ago. I think it was in the 90s or early 2000s. Where they were sliding to different worlds, different Earths. There was Earth Prime, and they went to different Earths, and their goal was to get back to Earth Prime. There's no Earth Prime. There's none of that different Earths. You're not experiencing that. Rather, it's more like you're looking at different images on a frame of film. Each image may represent a different aspect of you or the environment. It's hard to explain. So you're not leaping between different Earths. You're leaping between frames of that film. So try and imagine it that way. It's like a puzzle, and each time you find a piece and you put the puzzle together, it forms a picture. But that picture changes. It changes depending upon the different pieces you put into place to form another picture and another picture and another picture. Kind of interesting, huh? Dwau, Hawkeye, thank you. So understand that there is no Earth Prime and you're going to be jumping between different Earths with different people living in it. It doesn't work that way. You are here. And as your belief systems change, the environment around you changes. You know what I mean? For example, this is a very crude example, but I just need to illustrate my point. Let's say you live across from Fifth Street. As your beliefs change, you have a new Fifth Street. And you wake up tomorrow and your belief changes again, or your thoughts change, and that Fifth Street changes again. Maybe on this time there's a purple building there. Tomorrow you wake up and there could be a green building there. Now you'll never remember the green building or the purple building. You'll never remember those. To you, it'll be a consistent stream. You'll always think it was that color, if you know what I mean. So you're never going to remember the change or the past. You only remember what's current because the only thing that exists is the moment, the here and now moment. There's no past and there's no future. It's only the here and now. And that's the secret of how they wiped our memories of the past, to why we have global amnesia about the past. But I digress. So I want you to understand that there's no different Earths. There's just you leaping between frame, and frame. You wake up one morning, Fifth Street has the orange building. You wake up the next morning, 8th Street has a purple building. These things are changing all around you. That's how it works. Your mate is sweet one day, next day your mate is not sweet, because now it's a different mate. It gets interesting, doesn't it? But you're not going to another Earth. Your mate's changing because your belief system's changing, because you are a reality generating machine. Do you feel me now? Do you understand? You know? So it's important to keep that in mind. Therein lies the secret to the question I posed at the beginning of this broadcast. Because remember now, I know it's a paradox. Well, Qesankh, you said that, there's no different Earths, but you say I exist in all of these parallel realities. Yeah, yes, I said that. That's true. So ponder that for a second. All right. If we are multidimensional beings existing in all places at once, that means part of us is 5D, or an aspect to us is 5D. 5D is the singularity where all things converge and all things are one. There's no time and space in 5D. This is where the ego is destroyed and we become one with all, as the Buddhists say. Now, imagine this. We all live in our own parallel realities. Woo! Let's say that again. We all live in our own parallel realities. In fact, let me pull something. Parallel realities, yes. All right, here we go. Let me share my screen so you can get an understanding of this. All right, let's take a look at this right now. You see? Now, this is the old perception of it, the many Earths theory, or the parallel worlds theory. And as I said, there are no infinite number of worlds, is what some have come to believe. Oh, there are an infinite number of worlds or infinite number of universes. That's not necessarily true. All right, so keep that in mind. But it was an attempt to try and explain something that was a very complicated theory and break it down to something simple. You understand? Now, Ma'ati tells us that there is the two truths. And we understand that Western civilization, because they're polarizing left-brain thinking, does not see complementary elements, but always contradictory elements. And if you understand that you live in one among an infinite number of parallel realities, and that you are multidimensional, then you understand that my reality is not your reality. But there is a merger or convergence of realities when we come together. And we must also factor in time dilation. Well, what is time dilation? Let's say, for example, you live by yourself. Your parents live across town. Your sister or brother lives out of state. They all live in a different space-time continuum than you. Your brother may live in the past. Your sister may live in the future. This is called time dilation. But when you come together or you call each other, then the worlds collide or converge into one space-time continuum that you all experience simultaneously. Do you get it? On my TV, I may get the Flintstones at 5 o'clock. You may be in the same exact state, the same exact area, 5 blocks down. At 5 o'clock, you get the Twilight Zone because you live in a different parallel reality. Do you understand? And then my neighbor upstairs at 5 o'clock may get Bugs Bunny, same channel. Because we all live in a different reality. We don't share that same experience. I know my reality is peculiar. It's different. I have so many crazy synchronicities that it drives me insane. And people can't believe it. This is why some people will win the lottery and win big. They're not in your reality. They're not. Jeff Bezos, Halle Berry, Charlize Theron, they are not in your reality. Now, if you were to meet them, then you would converge realities into one space-time continuum. But for now, they don't exist. They don't even exist. They're only projections that you have created because you are a reality creating, you are a reality generating machine. They only exist as avatars or creations for you to communicate with and learn from. But they don't really exist. Because the only thing that's here is you in this reality. You're the only thing that is legit, that's real. You are creating everything you see around you, even your friends, family members. They do not exist. They are avatars. The people that are walking down the street all the way down the block are non-principal players. They don't exist. You created them as God man, God woman. That's right. You created Star Wars. You created the Matrix movie. That's right. You created Gone with the Wind. You created the Marvel Universe. Yeah. Hello. As a means to communicate. It's a mirror of the universe communicating back to you, something you need to know. I don't exist in your reality. I'm an avatar that you have created, and you have asked my permission to create a representation of me as an avatar in this space-time continuum so I can teach you what you should already know and what you already do know. Because if you didn't know it, I couldn't exist and teach it to you. Does that make sense? I'm teaching you, I'm talking to you that which you already know, but you need an avatar, a representation of a sage or a guru to help mirror or regurgitate back your own thinking. Now, I'm getting out of here. Let me give you the answer to your question, because I said lots of people call me. They're wondering about, this is tough times. Should I get it? Should I not get it? What should I do? People are saying it's dangerous. Other people are saying it's not dangerous. Now, if you're smart You already figured out the answer. My beloved, it goes back to Ma'ati, the two truths. You live in a subjective realm, right? But there's also an objective realm. Let me get you to understand this. You live in a realm where you created everything. Buildings, the puppy dog, the panda bear. You created all of that. You're magnificent. It's like, oh my God, look what I created. And you're God, and you don't remember you're God. You actually don't recall that you're God. But you also live in an objective realm. There are objective rules that we all must abide by. But see, when we were in the ether, when we were in the inner planes, I should say, and we went before the hall of Ati, we made an agreement with Tahuti. And Tahuti said, listen, you did well in your past life. I'm going to send you into this new life. And remember, you're God, and you can manifest anything you want, but we also have to create some ground rules. And those rules are, you're going to be born middle class. There's going to be gravity. There's going to be a sun. There's going to be a moon. You're going to have a wife and kids, or a husband and kids. And you're also going to be susceptible to diseases and things of that nature that go on. Oh, I have you down here as getting the chicken pox. So you'll get the chicken pox and they'll blow over. But you can't avoid it. You're going to get the chicken pox. Do you accept this as part of your next life? Because God needs you to go there and experience what it's like to have a chicken pox. God wants to experience that. God has never experienced that before. God thinks it'll be cool to have that and make it through it okay. And you'll be like, sure, I'll be the vessel for God to come into me to experience these things. But I also know that I will have the power to change things. But it's freedom within limitation. You understand? So you're going to be born. You can be born into a middle-class family. You can marry, have kids. And then, you probably get the chicken pox. And then it goes on from there as per your soul contract, your pre-life agreement. But you say, well, I don't want the chicken pox. I'm going to create a reality where it doesn't exist. Nope, you can't do that. Because that's an objective, what we call as consensus agreement. You've made that agreement with a bunch of people to experience that. And you've also made an agreement to where there is the Illuminati in this world. But I don't like the Illuminati. But you made the agreement that that has to be part of the objective experience where we all experience that. You can't take it away. You can't get around it. All right. So where am I going with this? Where am I going with this? When people email me and ask me, what should I do? Is it dangerous? What should I do? You must understand that there are a lot of swindlers out there. Your pastor ministers, your Creflo Dollars, your T.D. Jakes, Frederick K.C. Price. These are just men. They're not sages. They have not risen above their emotions. They don't connect to the Akashic records. They don't connect to God for wisdom. And the fact that people sometimes email me asking me questions makes me pause for thought, to reflect and say, have I really been teaching? Are they really listening? And I have to say, maybe not. Maybe I'm not conveying the message properly, or maybe they just don't get it. Because my only answer to you can be this. I don't live in your reality. I don't know the soul contracts you made. So I cannot tell you what you should do. Because your reality may be one where you're driving a car down a road and it's a beautiful sunny day and a boulder hits your car and kills you. And you would have said, well, I asked Qesankh if it was okay to go to Yosemite Park. And he said, hundreds and hundreds or thousands and thousands of people go there every year. So, hey, seems fine, go. And then you get hit with a boulder from an avalanche. Because your reality dictated it was your time. Your reality said, you got to go, you got to go. Well, my reality says, I can party like it's 1999 maybe, or 2030 is when I think I'm supposed to kick off. You venerate and look up to these pimp pastor ministers when they're the dumbest of the dumb, the lowest of the low. How do I know this? Because I went to God, the oracles, to get the information. And the oracle told me these men are evil. No, they're not misled. They didn't start out doing good and went, no, they were corrupt from the beginning. Don't go to them for any information. They're destroying the Black communities. They're destroying the women in the congregation because the congregation is made up mostly of women. So you want to know the answer to your question. Well, it's very difficult because you're in your own parallel reality. I don't know what's going on in your reality. That's your belief system. You're creating things within your reality. In your reality, you may have not heard of the Illuminati. In your reality, Star Trek is on at 5 o'clock. I don't know. We don't live in the same reality. We're all living in different parallel realities, but they converge when we come together, like in this broadcast. And then when we leave, time dilation kicks in and we go back to our own individual parallel realities. So if you want to know what you should do, there's only one way to determine that. Go to God. Go to the oracle, because the oracle will tell you what's going on in your reality. Go, God, should I do this? Then you may come to me and say, Qesankh, I got your ships too. What does that mean? Then I will interpret it for you. You know, I asked, should I get it? And I got Sebek to Ma'at. What does that mean, Qesankh? Now we're on the right track. I hope you understand what I'm saying to you. That the questions in your life, you're going to have to go to God. You're going to have to go to God, which is you. Do you dig? It would be foolish of me to see. This is the foolishness of the modern day pit pastor minister, to give you advice, general advice as a one size fits all. I respect the fact that you're God and you have a free will to make your own decisions, but I also know that you don't live in my reality. I could drink Earl Grey tea and be okay. In your reality, you drink Earl Grey tea and you drop dead. That's confusing, isn't it? It is. When I hear people say, all women are conniving, I don't trust them. In your reality, yes, that's what you believe. So you have manifested conniving women. I used to walk around and go, these people are dumb. And as I met people, I was starting to meet really dumb people. And I began to realize I'm manifesting these people in my reality. I'm manifesting. But then I got real smart, right? Here, let me tell you something. When I realized the secret, I'm gonna give you a secret right now. Y'all guys ready for a secret? First, I want you to hit the like button, all right? Because I'm going to give you something powerful, and then I gotta go. But I'm going to give you something so powerful, all right? Hit the like button, and if you are in a position to do so, please donate to the channel if you like this information. All right, let's get some donations going on here. I see you guys on other people's channels and you donate like crazy, but when I come and drop some serious knowledge and spiritual truth about loving God and respecting yourself as God, you guys don't contribute, but it's all cool. All right. So I figured it out very early on in my priesthood. See, I don't know what it is. It's like people in priesthood, when I was there, they would sit and they would learn from the high priest, and they'd be like, "Oh, I thank you, duau, I will put that into practice." And I would be like, with my little Sebek conniving mind. So you're saying that I'm a reality generating machine, right? And if I say that people are dumb, I'm going to manifest more people, right? And high priest would be like, yeah. So I'll be going home. I'll be thinking, boy, there's some dumb people around here. And then I would meet people and they would be dumb because I'm manifesting. I said, oh, I get it. Oh, look at all these pretty girls. All these pretty girls are attracted to me. Yeah, these pretty girls are attracted to me. Yeah. And then I would get this test, would be on a Wednesday, and I got to prepare the test. No, that test is going to be canceled. Oh, that test will be canceled. And sure enough, as I got to class, the test was canceled. I'll be like, oh, I just love this. I love this. I'll be like, yeah, I love this, you know. I think that's someone at the door. Can you get that? Can you get that, please? So I got hip to it, how magic works. And friends would call me up and say, oh, I'm having problems getting dates. In your reality, not my reality. How do you do it, Qesankh? How do you do it? Oh, I buy the right cologne. I don't know. Of course, I would never tell them the secret. I'm cheating, you know. But what if you were to say, and you know, I attract money. I'm a money magnet. What would you think would happen in your life? And if you said it over and over again and you really believed it and you said it while you're going in trance, what would you think would happen to your life? You would transform your life, your financial situation. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? So let's get to work, shall we? Let's put this into practice. And if you want to know what you should do about your situation, whether you should get it or not, I have to be careful of my language because YouTube, they come down hard on you when you mention that word. You must understand and you must go to the oracles to ask if you should do it or not. The word of God is the only thing you can trust. You can't trust scientists because some scientists say, hey, everything's groovy. Other scientists say, no, the end of the world is coming. You know, I just don't know. You know, like, who can you trust? But remember, there is a subjective experience, meaning there's the experience that you create, and then there's the objective realm, which is the world that we all, or the rules that we all have to abide by the mass consensus agreement. That's what it's called. Now, I want you to understand, saying something as an affirmation is not good enough. You have to believe it. You have to have, you must emotionally empower it for it to work. If there's no emotion and there's no sincerity, there's a difference between saying, I want $5,000, between the fact that my wife is sick from cancer and she will die, and I need $5,000 for the operation. That's emotion behind that. That's emotion behind that. It's a deep, deep feeling. And then it will manifest. Then it will manifest. But I'll just go, oh, yeah, I would like $5,000. I'll buy me a motorcycle, you know? And just remember, there's karma and there's balance. If you start manifesting a lot of things, material things, it's going to come back at you. I manifested a nice motorcycle because I just wanted it. I knew magic, I could get it. Crashed that sucker 2 weeks later, into a wall on a busy street. No, it wasn't. It was I think it was a wall. Yeah. Ended up in the hospital. So be careful how you use your magic. But always, when you're in crisis, when there's a major life decision to be made, you turn on social media, turn on TV, you're going to hear all kinds of opposing views. What president should you, or what candidate should you pick for a political office? You're going to hear all kinds of different views. What's the truth? Go to the oracles. Go to God and say, should I vote for X? Should I vote for Y? Should I move? Should I get that job? Should I date Qesankh? You know how it is. So that's the answer to your questions that you've been emailing me about. And that's the best answer I can give you, because you live in your own parallel reality, and I respect that. And I'm not going to give you a generalized rule, a cookie cutter system, one size fits all. That doesn't work. That's wrong. You understand? But these pastors will give you just general knowledge and general information. Let me ask you this. I'm going to ask you this question. If I come up to you, Hawkeye, if I come up to you and say, is abortion right or wrong? What would be your answer? Magical Indigo, what would be your answer? Your answer could only be one thing. And that is, I cannot answer that question. Let us go to God and let God tell us. That's too deep of an issue. That is too deep of an issue for my pay grade. Because I'm not a sage yet. That's what you would say. I'm not a sage yet. I'm working toward that goal. But for now, let's go to God. And we're going to ask God if abortion is right or wrong. Of course, if you go to a politician, what do you think they would say? What do you think they would say? They'd say anything that you want them to say if you donate enough money to their campaign. It's a preponderance of the people. Their opinions sway depending upon how much money they get. That is the worst thing in the world you could do, is go with your feelings. That is the whole teaching. That is the whole point of the story of Asar and the Set. You don't go with your feelings, because your feelings are not a barometer as to what is right and wrong. Only when you have transcended your feelings and have gained clarity, the 38th hexagram in the I-ching, and you connect with God in the Akashic records, can you speak and be the mouthpiece of God. That's why Tahuti, the God of wisdom, is the mouthpiece of God, because Tahuti, the oracles, are the objective measure of truth. They are not swayed by emotions or money or women or men. They are clear of mind. They connect with God. When you have risen to the point of being a sage, your emotions no longer dictate your actions. And you have two things, keep this in mind. That's a pun. You have the lower mind and you have the higher mind. The lower mind, which is the left brain, can only see what's here and now. The right, the higher mind can see 15 years down the road. is beyond time and space. It sees all, it knows all. How do you know that's true? Not being angry with you, Hawkeye. How do you know that's true? You don't know. You don't know. Again, I'm not picking with you. You're making an absolute statement. Have you done an oracle reading yet to confirm that? Go and do an oracle reading. Confirm that. Then you can come back and speak with authority because you now have the word of God that says a soul. Otherwise, it's just opinion. And I can counter that opinion by saying, no, it's not killing itself. No, it's not. Because there's nothing there yet. That's a good point you make there, Magical Indigo. When you manifest with your feelings, you're actually using the Chi Kundalini energy that's within you. That's the proper way you should be manifesting. Yes, there's nothing wrong with doing that, but you don't make decisions in your life that affect you and the world based on your emotions. You can manifest using your emotions. There's no problem with that. Absolutely no problem with that. Because that's what your emotions are there for, because the universe only understands, it doesn't communicate through verbal language, it understands emotions. That's all it understands. So I want to thank you all for coming in today. Again, please donate to the channel if you can. Thank you all for the questions. Those good questions, good dialogue. And I'll see you again on the next broadcast. Hawkeye, I hope that makes sense. You know, if you don't have the oracles, please do get the oracles. That will help you because you'll have more authority in what you say. You can say, now God has said that this is, you know, taking a soul, taking a life. Now, I may agree with you, but I can't back it up. How can I back it up? If I have God's word, then I can back it up. This is Qesankh Ma Keperu, son of Ma and Tahuti. My aunt is the beautiful goddess Heteru. Until my next broadcast, I'm in Ra.